sex doll. The way you hold me, hold me, hold me, hold me. I cut the coast, I gotta cut it for the coast. You cut the line, I gotta cut it for the coast. What's going on, guys? What's going on? What's up? Gray Sky Anti-Troll. I think that you are complaining about that. There you go. What's up, Missy Miss? What's up, Eleni C? I didn't see Tyron on the what's the word? What do you say? What do you do? What do you do? What do you say? What's going on, guys? We'll let you file in here. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. 47 people in, 6 likes. There's a whole subculture of people that talk about the auditing community, and they do lives and they have panels, and all they do is talk about auditors, and then they get in fights with each other, and it's this whole subculture of they don't have any content. Their content is just talking about auditors and angry at auditors. And they got a big base, dude. I seen a girl, she was on all night last night. She steady had 50 subscribers. 50 people watching. For somebody that doesn't have any content, that's a hell of a, let me tell you, close this. That's a lot of things. I want to talk about a couple things here, though, that I didn't get a chance to talk about. I want to talk about, firstly, the video I put up about the unauditable town, why that switched so quick. So there was a guy that I caught wind of. I seen his video on YouTube, and he caught my attention because he said, and at first he's talking crazy about auditors. He says stuff like, you auditors that go into federal courthouses and video record, and then when you get yelled at, you run away. You're putting on the line, I don't know, YouTube watch hours? Well, first of all, let's slow down, pump your brakes there, because you got arrested, right? Johnny 5-0 got arrested. Only difference is he was squirting blood from his head when he did. I've gotten assaulted. Joe Cool got arrested 4 times when they put drugs on him. And on and on and on and on and on. The guy camping that got arrested, that hangs out with Eric Brandt. Eric Brandt got arrested for a tattoo. So, I mean, he's being disingenuous with that, but that's neither here nor there. So it was supposedly the unaudible town. He knew a town that you couldn't even record it, is what he said. Now, I called him up. Unbeknownst to me, he's recording the phone call, and I'm on live the whole time. Now, if you want somebody to help you, you probably shouldn't be recording them without their knowledge and putting it on the air. If you want them to help you. You know, it's not against the law. If he was in Illinois, it would have been against the law because it's a 2-party consent state. But since he was in a different state, that makes it we have a 1-party consent nation. There's federal laws about that. It would be a wiretapping law, surreptitiously audio recording somebody without their knowledge. But so that came to fruition. But so it's and in that phone call, it went from, you know, because he says, I know a town you can't record it. But in that phone call that he recorded and he has on his channel, it says, he tells me, well, it's not really that you can't record here. You can't hold up a sign at the grocery store, because he worked the deli section and he got fired. So he went and picketed the deli section. Well, I got the newspaper article. I've people from the town have emailed me. But that's neither here nor there. What cut the cord was, 2 minutes after I posted that preview that I was going to go to Maine, even after I found out that it wasn't necessarily you can't record in the town, that it completely changed it. I still was thinking about going, but my subscribers went over to his channel because he was live, and within 2 minutes of me putting that up, he saw how many people were in his live. He goes, I've never had this many people in my live before. And right from there, he goes, maybe I should start a GoFundMe. And I'm like, oh, that's it. You're done. You're done. He goes, I should start a GoFundMe. I barely have enough money to get through the winter. Okay, that's a wrap. It's done. Because what you don't know is that there's been too many people in this community that have taken advantage of people that are kind-hearted. That will never happen on Disorderly Product News. I will never let anybody take advantage of my subscribers. It just will not happen. I don't ask my subscribers for money. You're not going to. There's a video in which I was on the set of Chicago Fire where the guy's talking to me. He goes, "Oh, you put out T-shirts and stuff, right?" It was 8 months ago. You could watch it. It's the one that says intellectual property with the guy's hand trying to cover up my video camera. I say, no, I don't put out T-shirts because everybody does that. I'm not going to sell my subscribers a $30 T-shirt that took $2 to make. It says DPN on it. That's ridiculous. I'm like, I wouldn't do that to my subscribers. So the minute this guy saw that the auditing, and I said, be ready, have videos so you can, you can have content to put out to piggyback off this. Like, obviously that's, okay, that's credible. But the minute you saw those people in your room, you go to, oh, I'm going to make a GoFundMe. No, not off me, not off my people. It's a wrap. That's. So it wasn't the unauditable town. And it wasn't even you couldn't stand in front of the grocer. He was standing there. Then he went on the property. He's yelling at the customers. Then he's blocking the way so the customers can't even come in. Then he goes to the office and says he got hit by a car. He doesn't know if he got hit by a car. Changes the story 32 times. And he ended up getting probation on the case. He had to go see a psychiatrist, believe it or not. And he didn't go see the psychiatrist. So he violated his probation. But that's neither here nor there. Forget about that. That's why that didn't happen. So it was to protect my subscribers. And anybody that sent me money, I've talked to them all, I believe, and I told them I'll send them back the money. And nobody sent me money in regards to that because I'm not going. I'm not going to have this guy screw you guys over. What's up, Peanut? DPN, stop. First, you got to say happy birthday to Coro. What's up? Happy birthday, El Coro. Say happy birthday, El Coro. El Coro's probably what's up, Hassan Hussein, my man. Make him a moderator. El Coro's one of the biggest DPN subscribers. And then did you see, if you go to my community page, there is this channel. He's a black comedian. He's got about 500,000 subscribers. And he saw a video. He saw a picture of the Demon Slayer. For those people who haven't been on my channel long enough, the Demon Slayer is a friend of my program. He dresses like a pimp, right? I saw him on the west side. I saw him on the corner of Madison and Pulaski, which is downtown, which is the downtown shopping district for the west side. And I chased him to the bus. He's got a staff, a full-length mink coat, and the bus is pulling up, and I'm like, no, don't get on the bus. Come with me. And obviously he was nervous, and he's like, no, I'm going to take the bus because there's some white guy just running up to you. There's no white people in the neighborhood, and screaming at you to come in his car. I think I frightened him. Anyways, I followed the bus, and I ended up seeing him, and he ended up taking me shopping. And not taking me shopping, I went along with him while he went shopping. And we had a relationship from there. He lives in Cabrini Green. Cabrini Green is a notorious housing project, which they tore down, but the row houses are still up. I'm gonna put that video up for Halloween. It's a video about the Candyman and how that story came to fruition, because it started off real, right? It started off as in another housing project in Chicago. If you lived at the end of the hallway, then your apartment abutted the next apartment. If that next apartment was abandoned, which it was in this case, and kids would hang out in there, all you had to do is go in the bathroom and remove the medicine cabinet and just push, and you'd push through the next medicine cabinet. So you'd literally be coming through the bathroom wall. So there was a lady that lived in the end apartment, and she was schizophrenic. And this was the Abbott homes on the west side of Chicago. And what happened was the apartment next to her was vacant. And they were having a party in there, and one of the kids told two of the other kids, and when I say kids, 18, 19-year-old kids, in a gang, right? The people that ran that building were called the paymasters. I think they were gangster disciples, but they made people pay for everything, right? And they said if we just remove, and it had already been removed on their side, they said if we just push in this, this is the back of her medicine cabinet, we could come through the wall and rob her. And they did that. They pushed through the medicine cabinet, and Why there's room there? It's a chase. It's called a pipe chase. It's so plumbers can get in the middle and fix a pipe. So that's why there's like a 2 foot gap in between, and just pushed in. And she called the cops. One, because I don't know if she's known to be schizophrenic, because she called the cops a lot, and or that she lived in the Abbott homes on like the 13th floor. It took the cops like 20 minutes to get there. By that time, she was dead. They stole like a rocking chair and a TV. And I'll let you guys watch the story, but that's where the Candyman originally comes from. Because when she got on the phone, she tells the cops, they're coming through my bathroom walls. Please hurry. They're coming through my bathroom walls. Either she said, no, Joe, she goes, they're coming through my bathroom mirror. Because that's the exact spot where the mirror was for the medicine cabinet. So she's screaming on the phone to the police, please come, they're coming through my bathroom mirror. And there was an article in the Chicago Reader, and I actually did a video on the article. But one of the actors in Hollywood had seen it, and he wanted to make a movie on it. But his thing was that the actors be white, because he didn't think that a black movie in the 90s would sell. And he was probably right. Like, there wasn't many, big hits. And so, but the guy that wrote the article said no, he wouldn't do it. But they ended up making the movie anyways. Who's that actor? John Malkovich. John Malkovich read the article. And if I can get this done on election night, it's going to be unbelievable. If Disorderly Product News can get what he's trying to get done on election night, it will be unbelievable. I don't want to tell you guys, because it will be I think it'll be, if it doesn't come through, I'll just be teasing you. But on election night, just be paying attention, because I'm doing a commercial beforehand. If I can do what I want to do, if I can get what I want to get, if I can set that all up, then forget the community. I'll be the only YouTuber. Me and Chuck Bronson will be the only YouTubers doing this on election night. What's up, Tino? My man, let me make you moderate, Tino. That's my man, Tino. Oh, man, keep on keeping on. High quality isn't cheap. No, it isn't. Wait till you figure out what I want to do on election night. Let's just say I won't be on the ground. That's if I get what I want, I will not be reporting from the ground on election night. You figure the rest out. Think weather reporters. They only have one patty state, so the police can set people up on the phone. If you tell someone over the phone that you want to sell drugs, that's conspiracy, and the cops will just OD super chat. Oh, so you're going to be... I didn't say that, Irad. I'm trying. I'm doing what I can. I want to be there right when they figure out, when they do the... when they say who won, right? Because I feel like if Trump wins, things are going to crack off in my town. I'm from a little town called Chicago. So look at this. This is from Chicago Today. This is from Chicago Today. It's Friday, July 25th, 1969. This paper is from July 25th, 1969. Teddy pleads guilty. That's Ted Kennedy right there. This is about Chappaquiddick. Wife Joan at his side, Senator Edward M. Kennedy appears calm as he leaves Edgartown, Massachusetts court. He pled guilty to leaving the scene of an accident in which a young woman riding in his car with him died. Senator thanked the judge for suspended sentence. I'd thank the judge too if I drove a car into a lake and I was married to another woman and the woman in the car died. Senator M. Kennedy has head bowed and his eyes welling with tears, was given a 2-month suspended sentence today for leaving the scene of an accident. So even if he did the time, it was only 2 months. Suspend that 2 months. He can't do those 60 days. And then you'd get day for day in jail. So you would have only done 30. Good time. You'd done 2 weeks. The accident involved the drowning of Mary Jo Chappaquiddick, 28, who was riding with the senator when the car he was driving plunged into the water off a narrow bridge on an island near here last Friday night or early Saturday morning. Kennedy did not report the accident to police until late Saturday morning. It happened last Friday night, and he didn't report it to the police until Saturday morning. What about the girl that was in the car that went in the lake and then she never came up near to the car? You don't think about calling somebody for that? My conscience wouldn't let me do it. I would have dived in and tried to figure it out. The judge is imposing the minimum sentence and then suspending it. Said, I would say that under the circumstances, he's being punished far beyond what this court can impose. Far beyond? In a voice so low that his lawyer had to repeat it, Kennedy pleaded guilty to the misdemeanor in the packed courtroom of Judge James Boyle. The judge, in imposing the minimum sentence and then suspending it, said, I would say that under the circumstances, he's being punished far beyond what this court can impose. Suspended as 3. Well, I mean, because the charge was for leaving the scene of an accident, which was a misdemeanor. It wasn't for manslaughter or anything. So there you go. Look at that. That's from a newspaper article from 1969. Dwight Kennedy, Mary Jo Kopechnik, runs his car into the river in Chappaquiddick. He gets out of the car. She drowns. Friday night. Doesn't call the police until Saturday morning. Let's see what else we got over here. Oh, this is that's Mayor Daley. That's senior. If you watch Chicago 7, this is Mayor Daley who's in charge. He ran Chicago for 21 years. He's the head of the Democratic machine. When he was there was times during his 21 years that he was the strongest, most powerful politician in the country, more powerful than the president. Remember, they came to Chicago to get Kennedy elected. So this is from December 21st, 1976. The mayor died December 20th, 1976. Battle for power, Daley's last day. Fight to save him, a Roy Coe tribute. Tough job ahead for the next mayor. His son actually ran the city for even longer than 21 years. And his son was actually the state's attorney when 80% of the tortures under John Burge, which James Gibson, I know you guys see on James Gibson, who got tortured into a confession, and he got tortured into confession, and he did 29 years in prison. Now, I told you there was 4 spots in that story, in the James Gibson story, that will make your heart pound. I'll tell you 2 of them. I'll tell you 2 of them right now. What's up, Joe Cool? So, James, right? There's a double homicide. Benjamin Lloyd and a guy named Smiley in Inglewood, right? Over by 57th and Ashland, somewhere in that area. Smiley's a mechanic. Everybody in the neighborhood knows him. Benjamin Lloyd is a white man who's an insurance agent. And he's out picking up his premiums, cash from the people that do business with him. Inglewood's probably the roughest neighborhood in Chicago. If you ask anybody from Chicago and you say, what if you had to pick one neighborhood, what would be the roughest neighborhood? And they would say Inglewood. Inglewood is where Snelling's commander of. You ever see me get into it with Snelling? I was in the 7th district. I was in the Inglewood police station in that video when the guy threatened my life. I had a stalker, and I went and he dared me to go to Inglewood. The reason why he dared me to go to 7 is because it's the roughest neighborhood in Chicago. So anyways, Mr. Benjamin Lloyd and Smiley, the mechanic, Mr. Lloyd is picking up his insurance premiums from Smiley at the mechanic shop. A man comes up and sticks up Benjamin Lloyd to try and get his money. Now, what happens? Why he didn't get the money, nobody knows. What happens was Benjamin Lloyd is shot and killed. Smiley hears the shots, comes out, and he's shot and killed. Now, in every part of the state's theory of events, there is a shooter and a lookout. So there's always 2 people. Firstly, the main suspect of this murder ended up being the chief witness against James. So the guy that they originally thought did it said, no, I didn't do it. James Gibson did it, and his brother or somebody else. So James and about 9 other people from the neighborhood get brought to the police station because you can hold somebody for up to 72 hours for an investigation. So James and 9 other people get brought to the to Area 3. Area 3 is where the detectives are. So James is put into a room. If you ever seen the first 48, he's put into an interrogation room. He's put there for 72 hours, or the 3 days. So he never leaves the interrogation room. James, where'd you go to the bathroom? On the tile on the floor. What did you eat? Nothing. They bring me nothing to eat. He get intermittently. He was beat. I mean, his arm's deformed because they put a curling iron on his arm, on his tattoo, and it's literally, it almost, if you look at his arm, it almost went all the way through. It's like if they would have held it on there longer, his arm would just fell off at the bicep because they just burned right through it. So what they're trying to do is it's called spoon-fed confessions. They're trying to give these people enough of the evidence that they know so they could take them in front of the state's attorney and make a confession. Now, the reason why this was a big deal, because this is what they call a burner case. It's a case that directly impacts City Hall. There was a white man that got killed, a double homicide in Inglewood, and a black man. Because a white man got killed in Inglewood in the 90s, and it made it to the paper, it directly affected City Hall. So it's called a burner case. When a burner case came up, that's when John Burge and the Midnight Crew would get called for the case. You know, and they used methods of torture to elicit confessions from people. We know now that torture does not work. People will tell you anything you want to hear if you put them under torture. They'll say anything. And so torture actually is the worst thing you could do because you can't rely on anything they say then. But so they tortured James. Now, this is the part that's heart stopping. Think about this. They're giving him a spoon-fed confession over 3 days. His genitals are swollen up. His buttocks is swollen up. His arms burned. His rib is broken. His sister works at the Pentagon. His brother-in-law, his sister's wife, works at the Pentagon. So when they work in the Pentagon, they're not in just fatigues. They're in the royal, like, official, formal Pentagon garb, right? Like that very, very, with the patches and everything. They're in the official Pentagon garb. They work inside the Pentagon. She got a call that that both her brothers are in the Inglewood station for a murder. She flies in with her husband from Washington, D.C. She goes to Area 3. Now, James, this is happening at the exact same time. James is upstairs. It's like the 3rd day. He's being beaten. He's finally given up. He said the confession to the detectives. Now they're bringing him into the room with the state's attorney. They open up the door. James says there was 4 people in there. And he keeps on saying 4 people, 4 people, 4 people when he told me the story. And I couldn't figure out why he was saying that. But what he was trying to get across to me was that there was 2 state's attorney and 2 detectives in that room. Meaning that the state's attorney office knew what was going on. The state's attorney office knew that they were torturing people to get confessions out of them. There's no way they couldn't. You bring in a bloody and broken 21-year-old man, and he just happens to be confessing to a murder at the same time. Like he's broken. He's got a broken rib. His arms melted. Like I think you can't tell that they did something to him. So, anyways, his sister and his brother walk in. John Burge is at the desk. His sister walks up to the desk. Both of them dressed in military, formal military attire. If you work in the Pentagon, she says, "Where is my brother?" The other brother had already been sent home. He goes, "Where's my brother James Gibson?" She didn't say brother. She goes, "Where's James Gibson?" And John Burge's eyes get real big. She goes, "Well, we got him upstairs." And she's like, "Well, why do you have him?" She's like, "Oh, well, he's not here for anything. We just want to get a statement out of him. We think he might know something, but he's not on our list. He's not somebody that we're looking at for this crime." And at that time, he turns around and he whispers to one of his sergeants. Right now, this is James' sister told him what happened. Then the sergeant goes upstairs, right? The sergeant bursts through the door. James has just been let in the room. He's about to give his confession to the state's attorney. Now, when that sergeant bursts through that door, he goes, I don't know who this N-word is, but there's 2 people from the Pentagon asking about him. Right then, the state's attorney looks at James, looks at the sergeant, and says, get this N-word out of here. They take James and bring him, rush him out the back door, put him in a squad car, and drive him home. You tell me where in America you just confessed to a double homicide and they run you out the back door of the police station. Tell me where that happens. Tell me where you just confessed to 2 detectives, supposedly. You're about to confess to the state's attorney. They bring you in front of the state's attorney, and because somebody from the Pentagon is downstairs, they throw you out the back door. Well, James gets to the house at the same time his sister gets to the house. James goes in the back door, his sister goes in the front door. His sister goes to hug him. He winces and falls to the ground because his rib is broken. She makes him call IPRA. IPRA is the precursor to COPA. It's just a Civilian Office of Police Accountability, whatever IPRA stands for. He calls and gets a number, and that number is very, 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 very important. Thank God that he got that. But still, this is December 27th, 1989, when they let him go. They rearrest him on 3 or 4 days later, and then he does not come home for 29 years. So imagine that. Imagine that. She comes in with her husband, full military garb. They say, where's James Gibson? John Burge. Oh, we're not looking at him for this. This is not him. We're just asking him questions about. Whispers to his sergeant. Sends his sergeant upstairs. His sergeant busts through the door with the state's attorney. Is in there and said, I don't know who that guy is, but the military is downstairs looking for him. And the state's attorney goes, get that out of here. It is what it is, dude. Not only that, they took James to get a lie detector test, and he didn't trust anybody at this time. And after the test was over, he goes to look at it, and when he wanted to look at it, the guy giving the test didn't want him to see it, so he pulled it back, and the paper ripped. And since the paper ripped, both the detectives came in, and he said he got a beating, like a terrible beating for that, because he wanted to look, even though he probably didn't know what he was looking at. He just wanted to at least get it in his mind that he saw what was on that paper, where the lines were going. Because he already saw the setup. He knew he was going. If you're poor and you don't know your rights and they want to pin something on you, how do you win? You don't. It's almost impossible. There's another case with the Burges where Aaron Patterson comes out after he gives his after he confesses, and then he's sitting there, right? And I have this on my video. I'll put it up on my community page. You guys can watch it. He's sitting there handcuffed to a metal bench. He gets a paper clip, and he carves in the metal bench, Aaron Patterson, I don't commit murder. They won't let me talk to lawyer. Won't let me talk to dad. Suffocate me and slap me. And then the date. He carved that in the bench. I mean, the stuff that happened. And I'm not saying everybody was innocent. There weren't. The guys that kicked this off, Jackie Wilson and his brother, they were guilty. They were guilty. They killed 2 Chicago police officers. They were guilty. And don't think that I'm on this side or I'm on that side. If you're guilty of a crime like murder or rape, you deserve to go to jail. What I'm saying is not all those people were guilty. I'm saying that they used torture to. If they're only finding 80% of murderers today, but it's a murder case, they're going to find the murderer. But yeah, so that's what happened. Even if you look up Jackie Wilson right now, something happened with his case where they just let him go. He won his case as far as he didn't have to go back to prison. He went to prison for years, I think 30 years. But he wasn't even fighting it. They did actually kill 2 police officers. They had just gotten done with a robbery, and they got pulled over. And they got both taken out of the car. And the officers went in front of them, checking the car. I guess they picked up a hat, and they found the gun they used in the robbery. When they found the gun they used in the robbery, the other Wilson brother, I can't think of what his name is, he came up behind on the passenger side. He grabbed the officer's gun. He shot that officer, and then he shot the officer on the other side. Because as soon as he shot that officer, he came to the back of his car. The other officer backed up, and they met at the back of the car. And he shot him too. And he told him, Jackie, take his gun. Jackie goes, he's still moving. He's all scared. And that's when the other Wilson brother jumps up on the trunk and shoots the officer. Now, they were 100% guilty. Like I said, Jackie Wilson wasn't even contesting it. I seen him in court at James's when James was doing his certificate of innocence. They're guilty. They're guilty. I went outside. I'm like, dude, can I interview you? Here's my number. He was terrified. But that's your head there. He himself and his lawyers were not even contending that his brother did not do the murder. He was contending that he himself wasn't involved in the murder, that he didn't shoot either of the officers. But, I mean, you were involved in the burglary, which made the officers pull you over. So, I mean, you'd have to read into it more. But, like I said, Jackie Wilson wasn't even contesting that he did not, that the murder didn't take place at his brother's hands. So, like I said, it's a very tricky thing. Like, there's some people that are guilty, there's some people that are innocent. James is certified innocent by the state of Illinois. So it doesn't matter what any opinion anybody has. This is what it is. He served 29 years. He got his confession thrown out because they beat him, and then they were going to retry him. But the guy that was the main witness, who's also the first main suspect, had died of AIDS years ago because he was an IV drug user. And it was James' contention that nobody wanted to testify against him. They forced him. So if you didn't want to testify in 1990, 30 years later, they come back and be like, we're going to need you to come back and testify about that case one more time. Like, hell no. I didn't want to testify for you the first time. And I did a video. It's called Some Monsters Are Real. And it's actually like a 15-minute commercial for House of Screams, which is going to be the documentary about James. And there's another guy in that documentary called Mark Clement. And he runs the Inglewood Torture Center. And I interview him. I'll put it in my community. Right after this, I'll put it in my community page so you guys can see it. It shows inserts and cutouts of John Burge, and then it shows me interviewing Mark Clement, who was involved in the burning down of a building where 4 people died in. He was 16 at the time. They said he was the lookout, right? They said he was the lookout. The only person charged. He's the lookout, in which 4 people died. They didn't charge anybody for burning down the building. The people that in the state's theory of events, the 2 adults that supposedly burned down the building, they never charged him. The only person that got charged and convicted was 16-year-old Mark Clement for being a lookout. Now, he didn't do it, right? Who it was a group of bikers called the Monsters, who they came and they bought drugs from whoever owned that building. They bought drugs from whoever owned that building, and they would always buy drugs. They were a biker gang from Detroit, a black biker gang from Detroit that would come and buy dope in Chicago on the west side and in Inglewood. And the one day, the guy that owned the building had given the dope to his son to serve these bikers. Well, the son wanted to make extra money, so he put other stuff in there. Well, I mean, if you don't know what you're doing, you're screwing everything up. And I'm sure they're not coming down for $100 worth of stuff. I'm sure thousands of dollars. So he basically screwed these bikers out of their dope, and they were watching the house. In fact, one time they had caught the kid, but the dad released a German Shepherd, and the German Shepherd had occupied the Monsters motorcycle gang long enough that the kid could get away. The Monsters killed the German Shepherd with their bare hands. Let's not put that part out, but the kid got away. And then when the building was finally burned down, they saw the kid go in. The kid went in the front door and out the back because he saw the Monsters there. The Monsters went up on the roof, poured the gasoline on the roof, and lit it on fire. And then 4 people didn't get out. Now, the person that told on Mark Clement was a person that his sister got in a fight with over $5. They were playing jump rope, and she lost $5 out of her pocket, and somebody picked it up, and the girls got in a fight. And Mark stepped in, sticking up for his sister. That girl told on him that he burned down that building. And it turns out the whole time, everybody in the neighborhood knew that it was the Monsters. Everybody knew the story. But when they would tell the cops, nobody would listen to them because they already had their guy. So that was another burner case, a case that directly impacted the city hall. A big, apartment burns down. It's going to be on the news. But that's neither here nor there. Let me go see. Yeah, I gotta go drink some water. Thank you. I got something right here. Oh, El Coro, go drink some water. Lie texts aren't admissible in court because they're so inaccurate. Yeah, no, yeah, but they still give them to people. Not they weren't going to put it in court, but they'll still bring you down for a lie detector test. But they can't be admissible in court. But they'll still give them to you if they're. I mean, if they're. Some police departments will, right? If you're under investigation. Anybody got any questions before I cut it loose? So now you know why I did not do the unauditable town, because it's not the unauditable town. Far from it. And the guy started asking my subscribers for money. You're not gonna ask my subscribers for money. Like you killed your own chances. Yeah, well, it's not admissible, so I guess it really doesn't matter whether you take it or not. But if you really didn't do it, why not take the test? James took the test. He just got beat up when he tried to grab the paper to see what it said. But there's 3 other parts in that story that are heart pounding. I mean, his sister coming in and that guy running and the sergeant running upstairs and them saying, "Get that N-word the F out of here," and them rushing him out of the back of the building after he just confessed to the detectives for a double homicide after a spoon-fed confession is pretty crazy. And then there's even crazier stuff that happens. It goes all the way to Palermo, Italy. The case goes all the way to Palermo, Italy. Derrick Rose, Charlie Wilson. Charlie Wilson's a musician. They all put on a benefit concert to get James out of prison. Derrick Rose, a basketball player. What else happened? Oh, James is going to be on ESPN. Remember last time I had James here? I said, man, every time I talk to James, something new happens. The very next day, he calls me. He's like, I'm going to host a show on ESPN. I'm like, James, you don't even watch sports. You're not going to, it's not. So it's not that he's going to host a show. He's going to be on a show called Undefeated. I think it's a website, but you'd have to look it up. ESPN Undefeated. James is shooting. He shot that yesterday. He's going to be on ESPN Undefeated. Not only that, the Biden campaign wanted him on the campaign trail. Last thing I need to tell you guys. Go on over to my go to @DisorderlyProductNews. It's on Facebook. I go live there all the time to talk. Just follow me over there because I had to take it down. I lost like 15,000 followers because me and Facebook didn't see eye to eye on something. If you could do that for me, you could go over to Facebook. If you have a Facebook account, @DisorderlyProductNews. It's my business page. You'll see it. And just hit the follow button. I need to get back up to 10,000 subscribers. But I also go live from there. There's a Reagan Peabody regular page, but I need you to follow my Disorderly Product News business page. But be friends with me at Reagan Peabody too. It's in the description of all my videos. Still loving your work, and thanks again for helping my audit channel. No problem. Anybody that's got videos that think they need to be seen, they can send them to me at Constitutional Kevlar or at the Disorderly Product News on Facebook. But if you could, I would love it if you guys went over there and followed me on Facebook. But that's it. That's all I got to say. I just want to tell you guys what was going on with the unauditable town. That guy, he screwed it up for himself by starting to ask my subscribers for money. Like his eyes, it was literally 2 minutes after I just released that video. And all of a sudden I went to his channel and he's like, I never had this many people in my room. Maybe I should start a GoFundMe. Or maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you shouldn't start a GoFundMe. Maybe you should just shut up if someone's trying to help you. But people want to try and take advantage of people. Not my people. Aloha from Hawaii. You teach me a lot. You teach me a lot. Tao Kane Caruso. Peanut, you better be protected. Coro is extra feisty today. It's the Bears. The Bears. The Bears. A little bit of an embarrassment. A little bit of an embarrassment on Monday night for the Bears. It's okay. We're going to get it together for next Sunday. A little bit of an embarrassment. Yes, the Bears. The Bears, the Bulls. The Blackhawks. Bears game on election night. Election night's on Tuesday, isn't it? That's the thing I got to figure out. I got to know when, like which is almost impossible, right? Because they might challenge it. I got to figure out when the election results are going to come down. Hey there, do you know if there's a way to dispute a police report? For your information, no body cams. To dispute a police report? Yeah, in court. That's what the court's for. You dispute the police report. If you're charged with something, I don't know what the case is. I mean, I don't know what the case is. But I mean, if you want to dispute something that's in the police report, I would go to the police station and talk to the watch commander, who's ever there, and that's what you're saying. Dispute something that's in the police report. But if you got arrested for something, then that's what court's for, is to dispute being arrested. Oh, God bless me. Constitutional Kevlar. I don't know asking. All right, thanks. You got to put the link up there, my two beagles. You got to put like at Constitutional Kevlar, so there's a link. Oh, yeah. And my Capello video's coming out this weekend. Capello is the officer that assaulted and battered me on the scene of a crime. Listen, game one was on your turf. Like you pushed me around, you pushed me, double-handed pushed, all that. You had 50 officers with you. It was really, really easy to do all that. Round two, home field advantage is on me. Disorderly product news. I'm gonna let you know. Because he goes like this. At the end, he goes, you think you're just a badass because you're channel. And I go, I'm not. I never became famous because of YouTube. I became famous for putting tyrants like you in a box. And he goes, what did you say? I said I became famous for putting tyrants like you in a box. He goes, is that a threat? I go, no, it's not a threat. Because at the time it wasn't what, I mean, I guess if you think about it now, that's not what I was saying. I meant, when I said a box, I meant an interrogation room. Because I already told him, I said, you know how to spell COPA? It's COPA. And that's when he went nuts. But there's a lot of film footage without me in it of him. He was in a series called Wrong Raids, done by Channel 2, and he has his AR. Sorry, guys. It was weird. It did that at the most unopportune time. And then I did an update on my phone, so the live button isn't where it's at anymore. I apologize. Was that not the weirdest thing in the world? Did it not just go dark at the most unopportune time? I'm in my own house with my own Wi-Fi. Anyways, happy birthday, El Coro. Yeah, they did a stingray on me, Tino V. Disorderly news with disorderly news. Instead of disorderly news with disorderly news. They can't silence me. The revolution will not be televised. It'll be on disorderly product news. They were right about that. But you guys gotta watch. You guys got to watch the Chicago 7. And I hate that it's called the Chicago 7 because it makes it seem like I wish it was called the Boston 7, the Denver 7. Sacha Baron Cohen, the guy that played Borat, is one of the main actors in it. I wish it was called something else because people think I want you to see it just because it's called the Chicago 7. But what it is it's the 1968 Democratic National Convention was held in Chicago. And a lot of groups that were against the war in Vietnam all met up in Chicago. There was the Black Panthers, and then like a group called the Yippies, and 7 people got tried for starting a riot. And the whole case was over. Did the police start the riot, or did the people start the riot? It's a great video. I mean, you could look at the community that we're a part of now and think that any one of us 7 people could been on if it was in 2020. Great movie, right, Tino? You protested Vietnam, right? My two beagles. I want to get somebody in because I was in a lawyer's office the other day because I had to talk to a lawyer about something. He protested. He was actually there, marching to the Hyatt where the Democratic National Convention was, and the police had blocked them off. You'd have to watch the movie. It tells you how all the people come, and it's on Netflix. It was number 2 or number 3 trending in the country last week. But go watch it. But that's what I'm doing today, guys. So I'm gonna have a badass video tomorrow, part 2, round 2. It's on Disorderly Pride News' turf. I'm gonna give you all the info about the officer that battered me, and let's just know this: COPA, right? COPA is Civilian Officer Police Accountability. They take cases of police misconduct, when police break the law, abuse of power. I didn't have to call COPA. COPA called me. COPA called me the next day because so many people called and complained because my subscribers are the best, and just because even not my subscribers, people, anyone that watched that saw that was wrong. What he did to me was wrong. What he did to me was wrong. Continually pushing and hitting me and grabbing me up and punching me and hitting me when I'm going where you're telling me to go. You just don't know where you're telling me to go. You tell me to get off the property, I get off the property. You hit me when I'm off the property. You tell me to go over there, I go over there. You tell me to go across the street, I go across the street. Get hit, get slapped. Like, that video's coming out this weekend. My name is Disorderly Product News. Wishing you and yours a very safe and happy, healthy weekend now. Very safe and happy, healthy weekend. Wish El Coro happy birthday. Good night.